What's going on, family? This is not financial advice. That's right, man. Do your own research. We're gonna get straight into the charts, man. And before we get to it, I got some news for you guys. I want you to check out. This is pretty much what I've been watching. As you know, the rate hike, they raised rates again by 0.25%. So we up at 5.5%. This is the highest level that interest rates have been since 2001. I just want you to keep that in mind. So this means it'll be harder borrowing money at a higher rate. So let's just say the interest rates are 5.5 for us. We could be getting a mortgage for 7 or 8%, even 6%. So that's what we're looking at right now. GDP also came out. So GDP grew at 2.4% pace in the second quarter. So they beat the expectations in the second quarter. They topped the 2% estimate. So despite the low estimate, they had rose over. They beat the estimate. So despite the recession calls, we still beat the expectations. So the economy's still slowing, but it's not at the rate that they expected to. So also, the Commerce Department inflation gauge increased 2.6%, down from the 4.1% rise in the quarter one as well. So we're showing a few signs of recession. In the second quarter, the gross domestic product grew at a faster rate than expected. So as you can see, the economy is still doing well despite all these recession calls. So I just want to show you what I saw in the charts, some stocks that I'm watching that I really have been eyeing. So as you can see, we have this huge daily candle, big red bar, just a huge move down. The S&P closed at 0.68%. So what I'm expecting from here, as you can see, if you zoom out, we're still in this uptrend. They kind of tested this top of this resistance up here and they failed. So I'm assuming this trend line is definitely valid. So at this point, we were kind of overextended, so we could see some type of short-term correction. We're still over the 20, so I'm expecting a continuation move on the S&P down to about 448 level. So that would be the rising moving average. That would be the 20 days. So that's what I'm expecting. Continuation on the S&P. We could bounce though. That's just my me analyzing the charts as well. So then we got the Qs, as you know, or the NASDAQ, should I say, exact same chart as the NASDAQ. Tested the top of this trend line. We actually got a resistance here, so you know this trend line is valid. If you zoom out, you can see we touched this level multiple times over here, so this should be a valid trend line. So we do have the 20 up here, and it looks like we're holding at it. So it's around 374, 375 area, right where they are. Big, huge red candle, huge volume on this candle. If we break 374 tomorrow, I'm expecting the first push down to 372. If we break 372, we could come all the way back down in this range. So I'm expecting continuation tomorrow. We could just consolidate at this level and not do anything tomorrow. You know how they do on Fridays? They like to take some of those profits back. So Spotify, this was a trade I took today. This is going to be a swing play for me. I did see rejection up here. I'm going to show you why I took this trade actually. So we go to the bigger time frame. You can kind of see they rejected off of this 200 moving average. Huge breakdown beneath this level. They kind of pushed through the 20. I was trying to see if they was going to have some rejection, which they did. They faked up above it and they immediately fell back down. They closed back beneath it again for a second day. This will be the second day that they closed beneath it. So I'm expecting a push all the way back down to possibly, I don't think, this is just a support line I have. Possibly it could bounce at 124, but I'm expecting to push all the way back down to around this 50 moving average, around 115 and 110 area on Spotify. They did gap down on the earnings, and we have a huge continuation move that I'm expecting a strong push down to this level on Spotify. So it did pretty well. I'm holding this as a swing play. See how it plays out. Snap actually did well. This is a play. I kind of figured they're going to fall back down. They have a huge hammer candle with high volume on a huge gap down. Looking for a break at this level. Continuation all the way back down to $8 on Snap. They had horrible earnings, in which, as you can see, the huge move. Meta, I don't know what this was today. They gapped all the way up above the breakout level at to about 325. And then we have this huge red candle. They took it all back. But they didn't take it all back. They took 90% of it back, and they came down to support, and they're holding here. But this literally makes no sense to me why they did this. This is a 78.6 where they failed from. Came up to this resistance. I guess you can say the gap. Okay, yeah, it makes more sense. So they came up to the gap, closed the gap, and immediately fell and dumped back down. So this was a huge resistance level. I wasn't watching this during the trading session, so this explains a lot why they rejected off this level, because this is the created the gap down. So that would have been a huge move if you would have caught that. You would have traded this today. I'm expecting Meta to actually do well for the rest. Maybe for the next 2 years, they're going to do well in this great uptrend. They got one red candle. It's not a big deal. All the moving averages are pointing up on Meta, so just looking for a buy-in opportunity on Meta at this point. But I'm definitely watching it. This is a long-term play, especially a swing play if we can get a good price on it. Microsoft, I'm expecting Microsoft, I don't know. They're selling off, but it's not aggressive as I would want it to be. They did break this trend line, but they're consolidating up here at these levels. So at all-time highs, and they rejected off all-time highs. So as you can see, we got 3, 4, 5, 6 days down. Got one green day, 6 days down. So we could be bouncing off of this support soon. We could be, because this is a major level. They bounced off this level multiple times. So we could have a bounce here tomorrow, maybe next week. But overall, Microsoft looks pretty good. Their earnings, they didn't do well. They did gap down. So we could have some continuation on this play from the gap down, but I don't expect it to go too much further. If they do come down, I would expect a bounce at on the gap fill at 314. So these are all the plays I'm watching for probably the next 2 to 3 weeks. We could see a correction in this market though, but that's what I'm watching, man. Hit like and subscribe, join the Discord, man. Everything is free. We just bouncing ideas off of each other.